Right. Brian, thanks a lot for coming in and chatting with me. I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
I'm always curious when I chat with people just in terms of like how they found their way into affiliate marketing. It is kind of this unique little world, maybe not a little world, but it's kind of its own niche that, I'm sure when you go to barbecues and stuff like that and you say I'm in affiliate marketing, some people are like, what's that? And some people might know what it is, but it's kind of its own little world. Maybe just briefly, if you give me a little bit of background in terms of, what you've done in the past and how you found your way into affiliate marketing.
Sure, absolutely. And yeah, a lot of blank stares at the barbecues when you say
Yeah.
interactive affiliate marketing. But yeah, so it's kind of an interesting story. I try to be as brief and concise as possible. But so I got when I went to college, I got a bachelor's degree in marketing because what really interested me about marketing was the science of it and how you could influence consumer behavior by things as simple as changing the font on packaging or the coloring or the size or dimensions of a box, things like that. I really enjoyed figuring out how to apply that science to in real world applications. But like so many people, I graduated with my bachelor of business administration, and I fell into a career in finance that I did not want. So I was actually working for one of the finance side of one of the major automakers here in the United States. I do customer service, your typical like new grad hire. But I knew I wanted to work in advertising and marketing, and I thought that was a path that would lead me to maybe working in the racing and motorsports promotion and marketing division of that company. But every day I was driving by a building, an ad agency. At the time it was called Platform Advertising, and I was just, man, I wonder what they do. I was like, I really wanted to apply my degree to something, and that's really kind of how I fell into it. They were a full service direct response marketing and communications firm that exclusively served the post-secondary education industry. So they were doing enrollment marketing for career colleges, trade schools, universities, everything from online MBA programs, degree completion programs, to truck driving school and beauty school and everything in between. But the company just spoke to me. And the position that they were hiring for was affiliate marketing. And in all honesty, I mean, this was 2007, and especially in that vertical, it was kind of a brand new, as the wild west, if you will. So I was not necessarily in the know, but I was really interested in the company. I was really interested in what they had to offer, and it afforded me an opportunity to actually apply the knowledge that I had learned in college to my career. And yeah, I guess the rest is history. That's how I ended up in affiliate marketing. What I've
Cool.
realized very quickly is that this industry really did lend itself to me and to my unique skills, because it seems like it's not too common to find someone that enjoys speaking to people like we're doing today, but then also has the analytical mind and likes to spend the other half of their day in a spreadsheet. So I get to balance these two different sides of my personality, where I spend half of my time doing analysis and data collection to see how affiliates are doing, and pacing and projections and things like that. And then the other half of the day speaking with people and negotiating contracts and working on relationships and things like that. So I have a lot of fun with it.
So this interesting segue in that. So our our customers probably tend to be on the less sophisticated side in terms of affiliate marketing. In the world of SaaS, so most of our customers are SaaS businesses. It's kind of a somewhat new concept for SaaS businesses to bring affiliate marketing into their mix. And I think there's a bit of a misconception in our world that affiliate marketing is a bit of a set it and forget it type model. And so it's interesting there where you're talking about this idea of building relationships with your affiliate partners, actually talking to a human being instead of having just this faceless transactional relationship. Maybe if you could talk a little bit about what that partner relationship is like and how you build relationships with your affiliate partners.
Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, in the affiliate industry, there's a publisher advertiser relationship, but really it is a true partnership. We're sharing in the spoils, so to speak. in a rev share type of situation. So we both have exactly just as much to gain as the other, and we can work together to make each other successful. So a lot of it has to, as far as I'm concerned, just has to do with making sure that I'm providing my publisher with everything they need to be successful so that they can in turn make me successful. And that just means constant communication, making sure that we're always aligned on our goals and our expectations. And if you're working at TicketSmarter.com, obviously, if like one of my partners needs some assets that speak to like baseball imagery or football imagery or a concert upcoming, Taylor Swift or whoever it might be, that I can provide them with those assets, but that we're also constantly analyzing the data and see what is working, what isn't working, how can we optimize it, how can we grow this relationship. And without an open line of communication, that's impossible.
Yeah, so that is interesting. Like the level of engagement that you'll take with your affiliates to the point where you'll actually create bespoke assets for them. You won't just refer, oh, go look at our media kit if you want to get some assets. You'll actually create stuff bespoke for them.
Right. Absolutely. And we have a list of questions that I'm going to ask anytime like one of my vendors wants an asset, from things as simple as what's your what format, what sizing, to what look and feel, and what can we do to custom design something that's going to fit seamlessly into your process or your website.
Yeah. And so, I mean, presumably for that to make sense, you need to be working with a larger publisher affiliate that is going to, be worth taking that kind of effort to help them. What you don't need to name specific names, but what would be the types of affiliates that you'd be working with?
Well, I try to cast a wide net as I should, of course, but some of the things that are the most successful are the coupon, discount, and deal sites. We do a lot with those. Of course, content sites, anyone that has a content site that's going to speak to, a similar vertical or at least reach the same demographic. We also work with a number of the card linked partners that manage and maintain the card linked offers for the different credit card issuers. But really, just other than that, I don't know. I guess that kind of sums it up. But really, I don't shy away from anyone. I mean, obviously, it is going to change my perspective on someone that I am projecting to do 5 to 10 orders a week versus some of my partners that do 100 to 200 orders a week. It is going to maybe affect my involvement ever so slightly. But honestly, in this space, every sale really is an incremental sale, and if it's not going to take a whole lot of time to manage a relationship that can bring in 1, 2, or 3 orders a day, it doesn't really hurt to bring them on. They usually require a lot less effort, so it really doesn't hurt anything. And I mean, if you think of all those in aggregate, if I have 20 of partners that are doing 1 to 2 orders a day, that's 40, maybe 20 to 40 orders a day in aggregate. So I mean, it works. It's incremental volume.
Yeah. And how do you think about recruitment of affiliates in terms of like, is there a process or sort of a cadence or a system that you've set up to regularly go out and recruit affiliates? And how do you think about vetting affiliates once you've recruited them?
Yeah, there's so many different ways, and a lot of it is, of course, just jumping on Google and doing some searches. If I was looking for an affiliate that could specifically target baseball fans, I might just Google Major League Baseball, see what comes up, look at a few sites, do a little keyword research, see what they're ranking for. Jump on in SEMrush or a similar SpyFu, or there's a number of other services for which you can subscribe to find keywords, so on and so forth. Doing a little snooping on our competitors never hurts, and see what they're doing, finding some of their partners and how we might be able to leverage some of those partnerships. But and with vetting, obviously we want to make sure that whoever we're working with is going to kind of fit within our brand identity. But a lot of it is just, does it pass the eyeball test? Like, does it look right? Does it feel like a fit? Do we feel like there's an opportunity there? And but at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to take a chance. Just got to try it. Like, you can make an educated guess whether you think something's going to work or not. And as long as I mean, of course, we wouldn't want to be on any website with any objectionable content or anything like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, sometimes you just have to take a chance. I've been surprised before.
Yeah. And what kind of campaigns are you running with affiliates? Like how do you think about co-marketing or co-promotion with affiliates? Like to what degree are you working with them in crafting campaigns, or are you just thinking about it from the perspective of, we'll give you assets and you go and promote on your website as you see fit, or are you actively working with them to create some sort of co-promoted campaign?
We do both, whichever is called for, but we do have some like co-branded campaigns where, we kind of try to work together to kind of create a situation that kind of ties the brands together, or could even create, an exclusive brand powered by TicketSmarter. With some of our other partners, it's a little bit more cut and dry, and it's exactly what you alluded to, where here are your assets, promote them as you see fit. So yeah, a little bit of both, and just really, it's about creating this relationship, nurturing this relationship between the two partners. Making myself available, providing what they need to be successful, so they can in turn make me successful.
Earlier there, you'd mentioned about analytics and digging into the data to figure out, what's working, what's not. What are you looking for when you're digging into data and doing your analytics? What sort of stories are you looking to tell from the data, or to discern from the data?
I mean, what I'm really looking for is trends, so that I can project, future production and behavior, whether that be in, for a particular event, or a particular pricing, or whatever it might be. But just looking at the volume trends, the revenue trends, and of course the margin, and just seeing how, I built a report where I could just kind of plug in the daily numbers and just look and see how everything's doing and see how it's trending, so that I can identify if there are any issues, if we're seeing a week over week or month over month trending down for a certain partner. Obviously that prompts me to reach out to them and see what might have changed, or what we might be able to do to get them back to where they were, previously, or if that's the new normal, which if that's the case, it's fine, but I would rather know that, where we're trending, year over year, of course, as far as like how I'm going to grade the overall success of our affiliate network as continued growth. Definitely want to see, where we're at, in any interval, but especially year over year, that we are continually seeing that growth, both in adding new affiliates, as well as just overall volume, overall revenue, and of course margin.
How do you think about networks? Like, do you guys use a network or networks, or are you a fully self-managed affiliate program? Yeah, what are your thoughts around networks and the value and upsides and downsides of using them?
Well, I would say, coming from the, as I said previously, I was in the education space, and we weren't afforded the opportunity to use a network because of the rules and regulations of the Department of Education. We had to have direct contact and communication at all times with all of our publishers. So we built our own in-house proprietary affiliate management system. And that was great. For that industry, that was great. That's kind of what we had to do. I will say, at TicketSmarter.com here, we do work with CJ. In fact, I just got back from CJU last week, and it was to meet in person with a lot of my publishers. But there's a time and a place. I will say there's also a number of vendors that I work with outside of CJ where they don't really fit the typical mold, of an affiliate. So I say there's a great way to leverage both. The nice thing about CJ is it allows, or any network, is it allows you the opportunity to pull from a pool of vendors that have been, vetted and approved already, that might be a fit. It allows just one more recruitment tool, and one more management tool, and it also brings some of those smaller vendors together that might not need that special touch, or that direct line of or completely open line of communication, to kind of bundle those together in aggregate and look at them as as one source. So definitely think there's a time and a place for everything, but the network definitely comes in handy.
So when it comes to dealing with bad behavior amongst affiliates, there's financial incentives at play. There's, any affiliate program is going to deal with that if they're at any kind of scale. How do you think about dealing with bad behavior? What are some of the types of bad behavior that people should be looking out for? And what are some of the tools you've employed to deal with bad behavior from affiliates?
Well, in lead generation, obviously, I saw that a lot more because fraudulent leads coming through. Whether it was, I am convinced that some affiliates were just entering in names out of the phone book on occasion, and of course that did create a problem. And we had a number of processes and policies in place to try to catch that. Of course, you never can catch it all, so having a scrub policy with our vendors and with our clients, of course, worked as well as we could hope. But in the space here, it's not in e-commerce. It's not as much of a concern because of course, if the order doesn't go through, we're just not paying for it. So there's really not a whole lot to gain, by attempting to send through fraudulent orders. And to be honest, I haven't seen a problem with it. So maybe I will, and once I will, maybe we'll have a follow-up conversation. But of course, we see chargebacks from time to time, an order that didn't go through, and we just reconcile at the end of the month with with the orders that actually where the card was charged and the order was processed, and those are the ones that we pay for. So anything else, we just credit those and go along with our day. So I haven't necessarily seen a problem with it.
Okay, interesting. I think in the software as a service space, I don't know if it's a cultural thing that it happens more here, or it's viewed as more of a concern. But a big problem for SaaS companies is companies bidding on brand terms. So, XYZ SaaS company, they rank top of Google for XYZ SaaS when you search for the name, but then an affiliate will bid on that brand term that they would have otherwise ranked first for. Have you seen any behavior like that as an issue within your space, or is it less of a concern in your space?
I would say it's less of a concern, and honestly, as far as brand name bidding, I kind of personally let the industry just determine what that click is worth. So if I can't say that our search team isn't bidding on some of our competitors' brand names.
Yeah.
So it just kind of comes with it. Like working in an agency setting, I do recall like managing a no bid list and requiring that any of our partners, in order to work with us, had to agree to that no bid list. And the licensed branded trade names that were on that list was anyone for which we did their paid search management. So if we did their paid search, we didn't want any competition. But at the same time, I have partners that I allow to do TM plus bidding, so they're bidding on long tail keywords that include our trade name. And honestly, I'm fine with it. There's a place for that. I definitely understand where you're coming from. Maybe in the future I'll see I'll have more of an issue with it. But right now it's I guess it is what it is. I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem. I've done of course we do our diligence and keep an eye on who may or may not be bidding on our trade name. Haven't seen very many issues.
I suppose it's probably more of a challenge if you're a small company and no one is bidding on your brand terms anyway. And so if the cost per click is really cheap for your business, it might be more of an issue. Whereas like us, we have competitors that are bidding against our brand terms. And so if an affiliate were to do it, like they've got to compete against our competitors that are already doing it as well. So it's not profitable. But for some of our sort of smaller businesses, it's a challenge.
Yeah, sorry. There are a few brands in our space for which, that have a little bit more of a household name. But for the most part, in the event ticketing space, like the trade names revolve around the events, the performer or the venue or the sports team or whoever it might be. So that there's a lot more bidding happening with those keywords than there are on the trade names, because ultimately that's the primary brand. Whether someone's buying the ticket from us or from one of our competitors, they're buying a Guns N' Roses ticket or a New York Yankees ticket. So,
Yeah.
it might be
Good
a little
luck
bit
competing.
different than in a lot of others. Yeah.
Yeah. Like good. Yeah. Good luck competing, for New York Yankees brand name. Like
Right.
you're not going to get that
Yeah.
cheap.
No, not even close.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw one thing that you'd mentioned. I think it might have been somewhere on LinkedIn about the use of affiliate newsletters. What sort of
Yeah.
stuff are you doing with your affiliate newsletters, and how do you guys think about your newsletters for your affiliates?
The newsletters, the biggest thing is just getting the information about upcoming events to our affiliates. The upcoming Trans-Siberian Orchestra tour, or what's going on with the Super Bowl or something like that. Yeah,
Right.
anything that involves like events that they might want to, specific events that they might want to promote, and just making sure that we're providing all that information, as well as just giving that opportunity to keep that line of communication open. So if they have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ways to expand and grow a relationship, that there is that continual communication for which they might follow up. Also, make sure that we kind of keep. I mean, the more busy we can keep some of our partners, the less they might want to work with one of our competitors. We can keep a
Sure.
little bit of exclusivity, at least in our vertical for a particular publisher. So just making sure that we're always there and we're always top of mind if anything like that were to come up, as well as just making sure they're as informed as they can be. If we make any kind of updates in our overall style sheet, if we change our icons or our logo or our color palette or anything like that, it just gives us an easy way to communicate that information to the publisher that they're expecting. So we don't really have to worry about anyone falling behind, and utilizing old assets or anything like that, and making sure that they're always aware of the events that they can be promoting.
Right. Just out of curiosity, what sort of scale would you be talking about in terms of number of affiliates that you'd be working with?
At the current time, we have approximately 200 affiliates.
Okay, so it's more about small number of high value affiliates as opposed to sort of the long tail of smaller affiliates.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have hope to grow in the future, but our program is about 2 years old. So
Okay.
in 2 years, we've built it. I would say, I guess I can't say exponentially, but we've grown it tremendously in the last 2 years, and we're still on that upward trajectory. Whereas, like by this time next year, I would hope to be, at least possibly up 300 plus.
Okay. Very interesting. I think that's probably as good a place as any to leave it. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat. I think we've got actually some very good sort of tactical ideas that people can kind of learn from and apply to their programs. So
Excellent.
I really appreciate you taking the
Yeah,
time to chat with me. It was it was
absolutely.
insightful.
I appreciate you reaching out. It's just kind of interesting, and I do like to be kind of an open book, So it kind of makes me think too, to think of what kind of questions you were going to ask, and kind of gives me a different perspective. But yeah, I always happy to connect with anyone on LinkedIn as well. If they have any questions, they can reach out to me directly, and hopefully any conversation like this, my hope is that it's always going to be mutually beneficial. So I definitely enjoyed this, and I hope you did as well, and looking forward to maybe chatting again in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Excellent.
Thanks, Brian.
Absolutely.